The disciples asked him, "Who is the kingdom of heaven like?" And he answered, "It is like a mustard seed, the smallest of all seeds. Yet when it falls onto broken, overturned soil, it becomes a great branch under which the birds of the heavens find rest." A strange image. A kingdom compared to a seed. Something so tiny and yet carrying heaven within it. Why the smallest of all things? Why soil that must be torn open? And who are the birds seeking shelter in its branches? Perhaps the greatest things do not grow where everything is intact, but where you were broken, where you believed you had lost everything. That is where the seed falls. In this video on saying 20 of the Gospel of Thomas, we step into the riddle of the mustard seed, into the hidden power that turns the smallest into the greatest. The disciples come to him with a question as old as humanity itself. Who is the kingdom of heaven like? They long to understand where life leads when all that is temporary fades away. What remains when everything we cling to disappears? We too ask this question. In moments of emptiness, when life grows quiet, and we sense that all our knowledge can no longer lead us on. The answer they receive is unexpected. No place, no vision of heaven, no revelation of power or glory, only the image of a tiny seed. A mustard seed, so small it can easily be overlooked. And yet this is meant to reveal the kingdom of heaven. This is where the true riddle begins. Why does he not choose the greatest, the brightest, but the most ordinary? Why the smallest of all seeds? Perhaps there is a quiet truth hidden here. The divine does not reveal itself in spectacle, but in simplicity. Not where humans search for greatness, but where they grow still. The philosopher Blaise Pascal once said that a person discovers their greatness precisely in recognizing their smallness. And whoever sees this smallness is already standing at the threshold of the kingdom. For every honest question is like the breaking of the earth, the first gentle fracture through which something new begins to grow. A mustard seed, so unremarkable that one could lose it between the fingers. And yet he says, the kingdom of heaven is like this. It is a contradiction to the human mind. For we associate the divine with greatness, with power, with something that stands above all things. But this image leads us in the opposite direction. Inward, downward, into the place where the small and hidden lies. The mustard seed reminds us that true greatness never begins visibly. It does not grow from pride, but from depth. Not in noise, but in silence. The medieval mystic Meister Eckhart once said that God is entirely present in the smallest, just as in the greatest. Perhaps that is the secret of the kingdom of heaven. It carries itself within the hidden, unseen, yet unstoppable. We overlook it so easily because it does not match our expectations. We search for signs, for assurances, for light that shines immediately. But the mustard seed reveals another truth. Before something can grow, it must first be unremarkable. What appears small already holds fullness within it. What seems weak contains the greatest strength, and what lies in darkness becomes the source of light. A seed does not grow on smooth ground. It needs depth and soil that has been broken open. That is why the saying declares, when it falls onto upturned soil, soil that has been moved, shaken, opened, just like the heart of a person who no longer clings to anything. One could say that this turning of the soil is what life does to us when we lose our sense of safety. When old certainties fall apart and we can no longer see the meaning, it is the moment when we believe everything has been lost. And yet something within us is quietly being prepared. Like the earth, which becomes fertile only when it has been plowed through. The mystic Rumi wrote that the wound is the place where the light enters you. Perhaps this is the very meaning of the upturned soil. The shaking is not a mistake, but the beginning of a new growth. When life stirs you up, when you feel the ground slip away, it does not mean that God is abandoning you, but that He is making space for something new to take root. In the darkness of the earth already lies the promise of light, and in every pain rests the possibility that something within you begins to grow greater than you ever imagined. No seed knows when it will break through. It lies within the earth, enclosed in darkness and silence, and yet it carries a faint awareness within it that above there is something calling it forth. This is how growth begins, not out of knowledge, but out of trust. Not because the seed sees the sun, but because it feels it. There is something like this in us as well. When everything becomes quiet, when no light can be seen, there remains something that does not need proof, a direction, a quiet upward. Growth never happens without resistance. The earth presses in. The path upward is narrow, and yet something within us keeps moving on. This force is not pride, not willpower, but surrender. As Meister Eckhart said, "What dies in the earth awakens in the light." So it is with the soul. It must lose its old shape in order to be made new. And when it finally breaks through, when the first light touches it, it is not a triumph, but a quiet reunion. For what it was seeking had been there all along. When the seed has ripened, everything changes. What was invisible takes form. What was hidden becomes a sign. The saying declares, "He brings forth a great branch." This is more than growth. It is the awakening of life itself. The person who once lay in darkness becomes a bearer of both light and shadow. For every true growth carries the traces of its beginning. The branch does not forget the earth from which it rose. It lifts itself upward, yet it remains rooted. This is how the kingdom becomes visible, not in visions, but in a human being who has learned compassion, in someone who was once broken and now offers shelter to others. The outward shape is only a symbol. What truly grows is the spirit that opens itself. A person who has honored what is small becomes able to carry what is great. As the tree spreads its branches, so does the heart unfold when it has matured in faith. Not to possess, but to protect. Perhaps this is the moment when the seed fulfills its purpose. No longer for itself alone, but as part of something greater. And the birds of heaven find shelter in its branches. This is how the saying ends, with an image of peace. Throughout history, birds have symbolized all that is free. Thoughts, souls, everything within us that longs to rise upward. When they find refuge in the branches, it is no coincidence. It means that what has grown within you becomes a place of rest for others. The kingdom of heaven unfolds not only in you, but through you. Whoever has found peace radiates it outward without intending to, like a tree that simply stands and offers shade. Perhaps this is what Jesus means, that the aim of growth is not self-perfection, but surrender, that a person becomes truly great when others can breathe freely in their presence. The birds are life itself, settling where peace has taken root. They sing because they feel safe, and their song is the echo of what began in secret. And so the circle closes. From a small, unremarkable seed has grown a place of life. From darkness came light. From silence came song. And what began so small now carries heaven. In the beginning, there was only a seed, so small that almost no one noticed it. And yet it held a secret within, the fullness of life itself, hidden in something that seemed to promise nothing. So it is with the kingdom of heaven. It does not begin with power, nor with signs in the sky, but with something unseen that begins to grow in the heart. Perhaps the meaning of this saying is to remind us of the trust every new beginning requires. For God works in silence. He uses what is small to bring forth what is great. And so life itself becomes a parable. Everything that shakes you can become soil. Everything you believed was lost can bear fruit. The kingdom of heaven grows within you if you allow it, not as possession, but as presence. And perhaps the parable of the mustard seed means nothing more than this, that what you consider small may be the very thing God can make great. If you see this, you will find peace, not far away in heaven, but here, in the midst of life.